What is up, YouTube? So, coming at you with another video. I said I would do a little video on the winch install. As you can see, the winch is installed. So a few things to go over. It's not too difficult. I would say get a second person to get the grill on or off for you. You will, if you get the Badland, I can't really say any other winch, but I have the ZRX, I think 3500 or boxes somewhere. Yeah, it's ZXR 3500. You will have to cut a little bit away here to get that to work, and all the way up here where it mounts to your plastics right there, that little bolt that you see right there. When you take this out, you really can't tell, but I got the plastics a little bit there. If you have a second person, it's so much easier to flare out the plastics and get it back in. Outside of that, it's not very hard. You have a bolt here, same bolt on the other side. You got one bolt there, and there's another bolt under there, and this it's like a guard, plastic guard, comes down, and you can get this out. And then I got the KFI winch mount off of Amazon for the Badland winch, and everything bolted up. Here's a KFI mount. It's pretty self-explanatory. The winch is very easy to mount. Getting the grill off is pretty easy. You got another two bolts up there, and then you have two bolts right there, and that's it. The whole grill will come out. You have to wiggle it around a little bit. As for wiring it, again, I put the solenoid right here. You don't get a lot of wire to you can't mount it back in the battery box unless you wanted to splice and make your own wire, because this blue and yellow wire only goes pretty much to there. I have a little bit of slack. I was considering mounting it in here, but you don't get a lot of storage on these, and why drill holes in that, because it's going to retain water if you start doing that. So I mounted it there, somewhat out of the way, not really out of the way, but you know, it's the best that we're going to do with this application. Again, if you get a more expensive winch, I'm sure you can you know, I'm sure they don't cheap out on wire. So that's where I mounted the solenoid. That's how I ran the wires. I ran the switch up here, and then I ran, because you get a, if you wanted to walk down a hill, you can plug this in, and it gives you some slack to walk down to whatever you're trying to winch out, or yourself. So I mounted this guy right here for the time being. I was eventually going to put it in here, but I really didn't want to drill holes in the plastic, so that's where that is. I'm probably never going to use it, so to be honest, I don't really give a shit about it. Other than that, the wires I ran through here. I popped the center plastics off and ran it along the frame. Again, to pop the center plastics off, you have your oil dipstick check plastic, you pull that off. It's literally super easy. It's boom, boom, boom. This will lift up. There's like two little clips there, and your whole center plastics come off. And it's the same thing really for these. And then you take that off, and it literally just slides front. So you can see a little bit better how I ran it. That's your little circuit breaker for your winch. I put it all back there, and like I said, ran it along the frame to the solenoid. Now, for my power wire, everything's different. This is a Rubicon, so it comes with a cigarette outlet. On most of your Honda applications, you have an auxiliary wire harness here. You can order off of Honda. This is said auxiliary wire harness. So I just got a test light because I wasn't really sure. It was either the white and black or the green wire. The white and black wire is when you turn your ignition on, you get power. So this clip goes to the cigarette lighter, so this comes out. I disconnected it, pulled it through, spliced the wire. There's a rubber sleeve that goes on it. I spliced that back, spliced my power wire from my ignition wire for this into there, and then there's two other prongs that wires that go down on the solenoid itself to activate it off the ignition. So spliced into this, slid that rubber sleeve back over it and put it back like it's stock. So I spliced in the ignition wire. If you have like a rancher like my girlfriend has, you don't have this, so you could get the accessory harness and you can just tie it into the accessory harness. No questions asked kind of deal. So like I said, everything works, as you can tell. And that's that. So I haven't really needed it, but it's always good to have. It's pretty simple. That was pretty much that. Like I said, I tapped into the accessory harness, ran my my controller up here, mounted to this side of the handlebars because I had my ram mount on that side of the handlebar. It's pretty straightforward. Like I said, it's KFX winch bracket. When you buy this at Harbor Freight, it comes with a winch bracket. It's not going to work. I did some research in other YouTube videos. The KFX bracket worked. Like I said, it bolted right up. I don't know what the technical term is for that. Winch guides, roller guides, whatever you want to call it. That actually bolted right up, and that is actually the Badland winch guides, roller guides. So that had no problem bolting up. Like I said, the only little bit of modification you need to do is trim the plastics on that side for it to fit. But other than that, it does have rubber grommets. I didn't really put them there. I might later. I only have one. I think they shorted me one because they used the others up on the solenoid. So, you know, that's pretty much how you do the winch. We did put some trail miles on these. I'm going to say something and I will do a more in-depth review on this. So mine did really well. My girlfriend's is outside here, and I'm going to show you what ended up happening. The other thing we added on is a thumb buddy for her. She's really small hands. As you can see, slightly different tire. We are going to put all ITP tires on this one. So the factory tires that these things come with are complete crap. These are 4-ply tires. Where we ride at, it's pretty heavy shell and rock. So I would suggest you run a lower pressure if you're going to run these, and pray that you don't get a good puncture. But she punctured her tires about 30 miles into the ride, so we ended up getting she ordered the rest of the ITP tires. So those are 6-ply tires. They should not be puncture resistant. I have a whole spare set of rims and these Maxxis tires, but Maxxis must have a special contract with Honda because you can't find them. The only way you can find them is like I did. Someone buys a brand new 4-wheeler like I did. They don't want the Maxxis tires and rims. They get aftermarket rims, and then the dealership ends up selling said rims. So rims and tires. So yeah, so I have a whole second set of rims and tires that I have in my enclosed trailer that I take with in case it ever happens. I can just swap the rim and tire out and keep going. Eventually I'm going to go with the same setup. I'm going to get the ITP 6-ply tires, but we could not get rims and tires for hers, so we're just going to put the ITPs on those and save the 3 good ones as spares if need be. So yeah, these Maxxis tires, they're 4-ply. If you're going to do like heavy trail riding or rocky trail riding, I would probably suggest getting 6-ply tire. It's a huge difference. So we will do a more in-depth review on these ATVs, when we get some more miles on them, I guess I'll do a, as you can see back here, we got all of our oil filters. Now, I will say we'll do a more in-depth video on that. I have 2 different oil filter manufacturers with 2 different part numbers, so we'll do a review on that. I also have an ATV cover. I also decided to get a rear storage bin for this as well. We ended up getting a plug kit, air compressor, but I'll cover that in another video, what we take out with us, what are good things to have if you're a beginner trail rider. By no means necessary am I saying I'm an expert trail rider. I've ridden when I was a kid, into my early 20s, for like 12 years. My grandparents owned 75 acres of land up in northern Pennsylvania, and that's where I learned how to ride and rode for many years. And you know, then I got these and so on and so forth. So I do have some experience, but we'll kind of do some videos to walk you through if you're new to this, new to the ATV industry, what we carry with us, and as we learn and go, like these 4-ply tires, I guess the manufacturer must have cheaped out on them. So, you know, they will cut corners when they can, just like in the 2020 and 2021s, I think. They had a little rise here for the rack. It was actually really nice, but I guess they did away with that to, you know, cut corners. I guess it saved them like $5, I don't know. Same thing on the rear here. So, but other than that, my initial impression is I was really impressed with how this did on the trails. Didn't even need to put it in 4-wheel drive, so we'll keep bringing you videos. And if, like I said, if you are going to do a winch, they're really not that difficult. The grill, getting it back on, is the most difficult thing of it all. You have the extra weight of the winch on there. It's not that hard coming off. It's just getting those 2 pieces that connect to your plastics that are a real pain. So yeah, we'll keep the update videos coming. We're hoping to finish putting the first 100 miles on. We have 35 miles on these, like I said, until she got a flat tire. And hopefully we'll finish rolling out again Saturday. Hopefully we get the next 70 miles on these things, then we can do the oil changes. The initial oil changes, I'm not going to do the valve adjustments. This one I'm going to do it on the next service. That's kind of, consider my last video, that's what the dealership manufacturer told me. They usually do it on the second one. I'm going to go with what they said. So the second service, before we go to Hatfield and McCoy trails, I'm going to adjust the valves, do the oil change, and then head down there. So thanks again for watching. If you like it, subscribe. Like I said, I don't really professionally edit my videos. I'm not that big. I don't really do this for, you know, to make money or whatever. YouTube has helped me out throughout the years, making really cool review videos, helped me buy this 4-wheeler, helped me understand some things. I did watch some winch installation videos. I'm not really investing all that money to set a tripod up and a time lapse of me doing it. Like I said, a winch is pretty simple. I'll kind of point to the things that need to come off and everything like that, but and the little tricks of the trade, but it's pretty much turning the bolt. The only thing is splicing the wire into that. So the white and black wire is your accessory wire. So till next time, YouTube, see ya.